hello story lovers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying deep into the heart of Nigeria to uncover a timeless tale, a story that has been shared around firesides for generations. It's a classic battle of wits versus might, featuring two of the most famous characters in African folklore. The slow but cunning tortoise and the fast but foolish leopard. Get comfortable because you're about to find out how the tortoise got its beautiful patterned shell. Long, long ago, in a lush and vibrant land, all the animals lived in harmony. The tortoise, however, had a shell that was smooth and plain, as dull as a river stone. He was proud, though, and believed his mind was sharper than any claw, and his wit quicker than any runner. In the same land lived a leopard, famed for his strength and speed, but not so much for his brains. He was arrogant and loved to boast about being the most powerful creature in the forest. One year, a terrible famine swept across the land. The rivers ran dry, the trees bore no fruit, and the yams refused to grow. The animals grew thin and desperate. The leopard, whose strength was useless against the hunger, became grumpy and impatient. He paced back and forth, his stomach growling louder than a thunderstorm. He had tried hunting, but there was nothing left to hunt. The tortoise, on the other hand, used his time to think. He knew that brute force wouldn't solve this problem. He wandered slowly, observing everything, until he stumbled upon a magical palm tree at the very edge of the forest. This wasn't just any palm tree. It was special. It was heavy with ripe, juicy palm nuts, enough to feed the entire kingdom. But there was a catch. The tree was enchanted. It would only drop its fruit for someone who could call it by its secret name. The tortoise tried everything. He called it Tall Tree, Fruitful One, Green Giant, but the palm nuts remained firmly attached. He spent days trying to guess the name, his own stomach now aching with hunger. He knew he couldn't do this alone, so he decided to visit the wise old medicine man who lived on the other side of the great river. For it was said he knew the names of all things, both living and magical. The journey was long and difficult for the slow-moving tortoise, but he finally arrived at the medicine man's hut. The old man listened patiently and then whispered, "The tree's name is Ima." The tortoise was overjoyed. He thanked the medicine man and began his slow journey back, repeating the name over and over to himself. "Ima, Ima, Ima," he muttered with every step, determined not to forget it. But the journey was treacherous. As he tried to cross a small stream, he slipped on a wet rock and tumbled into the water. The shock of the cold water made him gasp, and in that moment the magical name vanished from his mind. All he could remember was the splash. Frustrated, he had to make the long journey all over again. This time, the medicine man, seeing his determination, tied a little bell around his neck. Every time the bell rings, he said, "Let it remind you of the name Imat." The tortoise set off once more, the little bell tinkling with each step. A constant reminder. Ima, Ima, Ima. He was so focused that he didn't see the leopard hiding in the bushes, watching him with hungry eyes. The leopard, who had been following the tortoise, was curious about his strange muttering and the tinkling bell. He pounced, not to eat the tortoise, he was too small a meal, but to find out his secret. Tortoise. "What are you muttering about?" the leopard roared. The tortoise, startled but quick-witted, immediately knew he had to protect his secret. "Oh, mighty leopard," he said calmly, "I was just singing a little song to myself. It's nothing." But the leopard was suspicious. "Tell me the song, or I will smash your plain, ugly shell," he threatened. The tortoise knew he was in danger, but his mind raced. He had a plan. "Very well, great leopard," he said. "The song is about a secret palm tree full of food, but the magic only works if you call it by its name. To prove I am telling the truth, let's go there together. If I am lying, you can do whatever you want with me." The leopard, whose stomach was desperate for food, agreed. They arrived at the enchanted palm tree. The tortoise, thinking fast, turned to the leopard. "Oh, powerful one," he began, "this tree is very proud. It will not answer to a small creature like me. Only a great booming voice like yours can command it. You must be the one to call its name." The leopard's chest puffed out with pride. "Of course. What is the name?" And here is where the tortoise's true genius shone. "The name is a bit tricky," he said, pretending to think hard. "You must shout, 'Tell me my name.'" The foolish leopard, blinded by his own ego, believed him completely. He took a deep breath and roared at the tree, "Tell me my name." Of course, nothing happened. The tree remained silent. "Louder," urged the tortoise. "The tree is old and hard of hearing." The leopard roared again, even louder, "Tell me my name." Still nothing. He roared and roared until his throat was sore and his voice was hoarse, but not a single palm nut fell. Defeated and angry, the leopard blamed the tortoise. "You tricked me." He growled, and with a mighty paw he smashed the tortoise's smooth shell into 100 pieces and stormed off in a rage. The tortoise lay there, broken but alive. His clever plan had saved the secret, but at a great cost. The other animals, hearing the commotion, came and saw what had happened. Feeling sorry for the brave tortoise, they called the medicine man, who carefully gathered every single piece of the broken shell. Using his powerful potions and natural glue from a special tree, he painstakingly pieced the shell back together. When he was finished, the tortoise's shell was no longer plain and smooth. It was a beautiful mosaic, a network of lines and patterns showing where all the pieces had been joined. It was stronger and far more magnificent than before. From that day on, every tortoise carried this patterned shell as a badge of honor, a symbol of wisdom, courage, and the triumph of cleverness over brute strength. And as for the magic word, well, the tortoise eventually remembered it was Ima, and he shared the palm nuts with all the animals who had been kind to him. And that is the story of how the tortoise got its patterned shell. It teaches us that you don't have to be the biggest or the strongest to overcome challenges. Sometimes a quick mind and a clever plan are the most powerful tools of all. Thank you so much for joining me on this storytelling journey today. If you enjoyed this tale, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of folklore. Until next time, stay curious.